Welcome back. In this video, we are going to see about how to create Spring Boot MVC application using JPA repository for database operations, and we are using Thymeleaf as a view. Let's go to the STC. Here, go to File and New, then go to Spring Boot Starter Project. Here I am going to give the name of the project Spring JPA demo. Then I am using the default location. Then type I am choosing as Maven and packaging is jar. I am choosing version as 17. Then language Java. Here I am going to leave it as com.example for group ID and artifact ID is Spring JPA demo, then version 0.01, then description. I am not editing anything. Then packaging is com.example. Okay. Then click next. Here we can choose the dependencies for our project. First we have to choose, it is a Spring Boot web application, so we have to choose web. Just type web. You can see here Spring Web. You can choose Spring Web here. It automatically added here. Then we have to choose Spring Data JPA. Okay, this is the frequently used dependencies we can choose from here. Then we need MySQL driver and we need another template, that is Thymeleaf template. Okay, there are 4 dependencies we are going to add. Just click finish. See here our project is building. Our project is added here Spring JPA demo. This is our project structure. We have main/java folder, then main/resource folder. In that we have templates and also we have application properties. So what are the dependencies added during the project creation? Those dependencies are added here. We have added Spring Data JPA so that it's automatically added the needed Hibernate packages. Now see here in the pom.xml file, what are the dependencies are we have selected. Those dependencies are added automatically in the pom.xml file. Okay. Then inside the main/java folder we have com.example. In that I am going to create another packages com.example.model. Click finish. It's added. Again I am going to create another package dot repository. Finish. Then I am going to create another package, that is service. Click finish. Then I am going to create another package controller. Finish. So we have added all the packages needed for our project. Here I am going to add a class, employee class. So class employee. Okay, added. Now I am going to add the fields. These are the fields we needed here. We have to make this employee class as the entity. For that we have to use annotation at entity from Jakarta persistence.entity. We can use javax.persistent.entity also. Okay, now we have some errors here. So because we have to import the at id annotation also, just press Ctrl space. See here we have Jakarta persistence. Select that. Then generated value. For that we have to choose this. Again generated type. Control space here. So automatically generated type also added here. Okay. Now we have to generate the getter setter methods for this employee class. For that, right click on here and go to source. Here generate getter setter methods. We have to choose all the fields. Select all. Click generate. Okay, getter setter methods are added. Then I am going to create an interface for the repository. I am going to repository package and new. Here we have to choose interface. Here I am giving the name for interface. The name of the interface is employee repository. Click finish. Now I am going to decorate this employee repository with the annotation repository org.springframework.stereotype. Okay, this employee repository should extend the JPA repository interface. Here we have to specify the model name, for which model we are going to perform the database operations. For that we have to provide the class name, that is employee class model name. Employee, we have to choose the employee com.example.model. Here we have to specify the ID type. ID type is in the model we have ID is int. Okay, so we have to specify as integer. Okay, integer. Once we have extended the JPA repository, default CRUD operations are added in our project. We can perform all the basic CRUD operations. If we want to implement custom query, we have to create the method for the custom query, so that automatically JPA will generate that method into a SQL query. Then we are going to create a service. For that, in the service package, new, create a class employee service. Click finish. Then we have to make this employee service as a service class, so that we have to decorate it with the at service annotation. Here I am going to give. Okay, for adding the employee, for getting all the employees, for deleting employee, and getting the employee by ID. Okay, we have some errors. How to clear that? Just click on this. Just click on the end of the auto wired. Control space. Here we have org.springframework.beans.factory. Okay, then employee repository, we have to control space, we have to import the com.example repository. Inside that we have interface, that should be imported here. Then employee, it is a model, employee model. then list, it is in the java.util package, control space java.util package. Then all the errors are gone. Save the file. We have error here because we have to save the repository file. Save here. Now all the errors gone. Now we are going to create controller. Right click on that controller, new class. The control name is employee controller. Save. Make this as a controller by the annotation, controller annotation. Okay, save the file. For the auto wire, we have to choose this employee service from the com.example.service, get mapping, model, org.springframework.ui. Then we have post mapping. We have to import this also. Then model attribute, control space, this one. For employee, we have to import the model class. Then for path variable, we have to use this. Okay. Now all the errors gone. Save the file. Now we will see one by one. Here we are creating the object for service by using the auto wire, so that whenever we need the service object, automatically the service object will be auto wired during the execution of the program. Then here we have get mapping. By using this route, the user is requesting the resource, so that the controller will execute this method. This method is going to give all the employees, so that we are calling the service.getAll method. Service.getAll method is defined in the service class. See here, getAll method, so that repo.findAll, this method will fetch all the employees and will be written as a list. Okay. In the repository, we don't have any methods, but in JPA repository, we have all those methods. By extending this repository, JPA repository, we are using a default method, that is find all. Okay. Here we are using model dot attribute will add the employee as an argument, that means attribute. That attribute will hold all the employees. Okay. Whenever we are returning the view, that is list.html, that will be added with attribute, so that by using this attribute we can access all the employees in the HTML file using the Thymeleaf template. Already we have seen Thymeleaf template, how to retrieve the data by using the Thymeleaf expressions. In that expression, we can use this employees name to access all the employees. Okay. Next we have get mapping, and we have the root as /add. So what is the use of get mapping? We are requesting from this root by the method get, so that the controller will execute this function, that is show form. Here we are assigning the attribute employee with the new employee class, so that new employee will be added to that HTML file. So we are returning add, so that the controller will call the add.html as a view to the user. Okay. Next we are having post mapping. Here we are having the root as /save. So user is requesting by using the URL /save with the post method, so that controller will execute this method, save method. How the data entered in the HTML file is going to read by the controller by using the model attribute. At model attribute, we are having the employee object E, so that E will have employee data enter in the HTML file. Once we are calling service.addEmployee, it will go to the service class. See here, add employee will be called. Then by using the repository object, we are going to save the employee object. It automatically save in the database. Okay. Next, by using the get method, user is requesting the URL /delete/id. This id is wrapped with the curly bracket. Okay, so that particular id employee will be deleted. For that, controller will execute this method. Okay, that id will be retrieved by using the path variable annotation, so that this id will refer the which id the user is requesting to delete. Okay, by using that id, we are calling the service.deleteEmployee, so that in the service class we have defined the delete employee. By using that id, we are calling the repository.delete by id. Automatically JPA repository is responsible to delete that particular employee. Next, in the controller, we have another mapping, that is by using the get method, user is retrieving the resource using this URL /edit/id. That id will be retrieved by the path variable, and also we are having another parameter model. Okay, so that we are setting that employee, and we are retrieving that particular employee by using the service.getById. So it will go to the service class. Here we are having the definition for getById. Now we are retrieving that by using the repository findById method, that will be returned from the service to the controller. If the id is present, that will return the employee, or else it will return the null value. Now we are returning the add, so that controller will return the add.html to the user as a view. Now we are going to create templates. For that, inside the main/resource, we have template folder. Inside that, we have to create the HTML file, new file, create add.html file. Next, we have to create list.html, then finish. For add.html, I am going to code. This is the code for adding the employee. Okay, save the file, and I am going to add the code for list.html. This is the code for list.html. Here we are having the anchor tag for editing and deleting. Edit / we are appending that particular employee id. For deleting /delete/ we are appending the particular employee id, so that whenever user clicking this link, the URL will be changed as /edit/ that particular id. Controller will recognize that it will perform the delete and edit operation. Save the file. Next, we have to add the properties in the application.property file. We have to add the port numbers and database configuration details. For that, how to add the port number? Server dot port number equal to 8080. Then how to add the database properties? For that, we have to use spring dot data source dot URL equal to, we have to specify the URL jdbc colon mysql colon localhost colon 3306. You have to check whether you have this port number for MySQL, or else you have to change the port number based on your MySQL port number. Okay, then you have to specify the database name which is available in your MySQL database server, or else you have to create this Spring DB in your database. Okay, here spring.datasource.username is root, password is your password. I don't have any password, so that I'm not providing any value. If you are having any password, you have to type here. And the Hibernate DLL auto is update, so that every time you are running the program, automatically the new changes on the table or database will be updated. Every time it won't create new table. Now right click on your project, go to run. Now run your application using Spring Boot app. Okay, we have to save. Project is started and we have some errors because we have start the MySQL server. Okay, I have stopped that. I have started now. Go to the application. Now run as Spring Boot app. Our application is starting. Okay, fail to start, the port number already in use. As of now, I am not using the port number 8080. Maybe some reason it is used by another application. So I am going to change it as 8081. Now save the file. Again, start the server. Application is starting. Okay, see here, application is started. Fine. Now go to the browser, type the URL, click enter. 8081 slash. Okay, now we have the employee list and we have an option add employee. As of now, we don't have any employee, so that employee data is empty. Now click on add employee. The employee add form is open. Now I am giving the name as Deva. Salary is 15,000 and department is HR department, and click save. See here, now the added employee is displayed in the table. Here we have an option for edit and delete. If you are clicking edit, the URL will be changed as /edit/1 because the ID is 1. If you want to change the data, now I am going to change the salary as 16,000. Okay, now going to save again. See here, the data will be updated. Okay, now I am going to delete this. Okay, now how to create custom query using the JPA repository? For that, stop the server. Inside the repository, I'm going to create a custom query. List employee. The method name is find by name. So go to the employee model. We have the name as name. Okay, we have to provide the same name here, but we have to specify as capital N. Okay, because this will follow the naming convention of Java, find by name. Okay, this is not available in the JPA repository. If you are giving the method name, it will convert the here we have to pass the name string. Just declare that method. This JPA will automatically create select star from table name where name equal to name. Okay, this query is automatically generated by the JPA repository by this find by name method. Okay, save the file. Inside the service, we are going to define the method public. It should return the employee. The name is search by name. Here we have to pass the argument string type string name. Then should return repo dot find by name. We have to pass the name. Okay, save the file. Okay, because see here we have defined the find by name in the repository with the return type list of employee, so that we have to return the list of employee. So we can make it as list of employee. Okay, now the error is gone. Save the file. Now go to the controller. In the controller, I am going to add get mapping with the URL slash search. For that, I am going to define one method public string search. Here I am going to use request parameter as type string and the variable as name, comma, model from the org.spring framework model, then model dot add attribute that is we can have this thing. Here we can call service dot search by name method. We can pass the name. Save the file. Okay, we have add the search operation in the list.html file. In the list.html file, I have added the form. Okay, after the anchor tag, I have added the form with the action at slash search method is get. Okay, see here I am using the accent with the Thymeleaf expression th colon accent, so that it will perform this action using this get method. Okay, I am collecting the name of the employee, and by using the submit button we are searching that employee, so that this slash search will be called the controller here, so that the name which is entered in the input box, that will be retrieved from the request parameter name. Okay, then we are calling the method defined in the service class, so that that will retrieve the employee and store in the attribute employees. Then that employee will be listed in the list.html file. Okay, go to our project and run the project in Spring Boot app. Our project is running. Now go to the browser, click enter. Okay, we have two employees. Now I am going to search the employee Deva. Search here. See here, the employee Deva is displaying here. Now I am going to display Ravi. Search here. Empty list is displayed. I am going to search the name Raja. Search here. The employee Raja is displayed here. Okay. Likewise, we can perform custom queries using JPA repository also. Okay. Try this example in your side. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Thank you everyone.